Welcome back everyone to the Savvy Campers. Today we've got a fun little unboxing here and we're going to chat about some fun upcoming projects that we're going to do with this unboxing. So let's get started. So this product is something that Lion Energy had sent out to us. We've been working with them quite a bit on some projects, and this is their UT700. So we're going to go through. We've got some packing above this box that's in here. Let's go and so my daughter has a game. It's called Box in Box. Basically, it's a bunch of boxes in a bunch of boxes, and you play with it. And that's what these batteries remind me of because they're packed so well. So we've got a box in a box. So here it is. It's the Safari UT700 from Lion Energy. Like I mentioned, they sent me this to test out and have some fun with. So we're going to test it out, do some load tests, do some real world tests, and really see how good of quality these batteries are. So let's open it up. Okay, so just in case you don't make it all the way through the end of the video, I am happy to announce that I have a coupon code for 15% off Lion Energy products. So just go down to the link in the description, click through and type in coupon code Savvy Campers, and you can enjoy your products 15% off. All right, so we've got a piece of foam for protection, and then we've got our battery terminal hardware. We've got some silica sand. We've got a little attention notice, and then we've got the battery. That's a lightweight battery. So this battery, it's looks similar to the UT1300, except for it does look a little smaller, and we will compare sizes in a minute. So when you look at these batteries, they're actually the same cases utilized in both the 1300 as well as the 700. Okay, so this UT700 is a 70 amp hour battery, and they're rated to go down about 80%. So if you look on the battery, it's a 12 volt battery, 100 amp is a discharge rate, and then 56 amp hour is the size of the battery that you can discharge to, because you can discharge 80% on this lithium battery, not the full 100% before you do damage. So anyways, it's got a nice plastic case. It is very, very lightweight. Looks like, I don't know if I know the 1300s have decals on each side. This one actually does have our barcode and serial number on that side. And then we've got the Lion Energy decal on the front there. So we've got our two terminals, our positive and negative, and then we've got our simple hardware, their little wing nuts to connect whatever we want to connect to this. Now let's talk about what you would actually use one of these batteries for. So you would use a Safari UT700 in your RV, in your travel trailer. They're very good for tent trailers, because in your tent trailer you might not have a lot of draw from a battery. For example, you might not have a bathroom even, so you have no water pump, and you might not have a power tongue jack. You're just needing something for some lights and maybe to run your heater a little bit. This battery, with the significant weight difference, the long-lasting lifespan of lithium, it would be a great contender. Even if you just have a single lead acid battery on the front of your tent trailer, this is a great battery to own. Another use would be, you could use this for your, if let's say you have an electric trolley motor on your fishing boat. These are great batteries to use for that. They provide good amperage of draw, and they will last a lot longer than lead acid batteries. And then weight savings in a boat is always important. So if you can shave off 30 pounds, 60 pounds, 100 and some pounds, it's a great way to do it. So to name off the other usages, golf cart batteries. These are great drop-in replacements for your golf cart. Let's say you have a solar kit and you have an off-grid cabin or a shed that you have some lights in, you want a power inverter. Great storage batteries. They last a long time, they'll charge on solar, and they'll basically last forever. This battery is rated for 56 amp hours, like I mentioned, or excuse me, it's rated for 70 amp hours, but 56 amp hours of usable. Throughout these videos, we're gonna go through and test out and do some load testing to see, in a real world scenario, how do they last? Do they last up to what they're rated for? and is it really a truly drop-in product. So this battery has a nominal voltage of 12.8, and what that means is it's basically a 12.8 volt battery, and the difference between lithium and lead acid is lithium batteries will hold their charge consistently throughout the whole use cycle, and then they'll strongly go down, whereas a lead acid battery, and you're probably seeing this backwards, but lead acid battery will go kind of at a consistent discharge. So you might start at 13.8 volts and it just goes and goes and goes down. So if you have some items that you're running off of it that really require 13 volts or 12.8 volts, when you're 50% on a lead acid battery, you might be at 11 volts. And so running your slide out motors or power tongue jack, things like that might be slow, whereas these lithium batteries hold a consistent voltage and then drop off steeply after the capacity is drained. So it's a good thing for if you've got like an electric trolling motor, slide out jack or slide outs, electric power jack, things like that. All right, so one benefit to adding lithium batteries is the weight difference. So let's throw this on the scale and see how she does. So this, my weight bathroom scale is saying it's about 17.6 pounds. And keep in mind, we've got about 70 amp hours of capacity. So now I've got my lead acid 90 amp hour battery. So let's see how much that weighs. So we've got about 36 pounds on this battery versus the lithium ion battery. And actually the lithium battery has more capacity because on this 90 amp hour battery, we can only use about 50%, which is 45 amp hours. On this 70 amp hour battery, we could use up to 80%, and that would be 56 amp hours. So we have just about 10 amp hours more out of this battery than this 90, even though this has 20 more amp hours. So looking at the size comparisons, they pretty much are the exact same, and this is a Group 24 battery. It is roughly the exact same. The only thing that is different is the Lion Energy battery is a little bit taller. Size-wise, this would be a great drop-in contender if you've got two 90 amp hour batteries and you would have more usable capacity. Okay, so let's talk some specs about this battery. So we've got a nominal voltage of 12.8 volts. Our rated capacity is 70 amp hours, but our usable is about 54 to 56 because you can use about 80% on this battery. Our standard charging current's about 20 amps, whereas our max charging current can spike up to 56 amps. Our max charging volt is up to 15.4 volts. The max continuous discharge voltage is about 100 amps. This does have an overcurrent protection of 105 amps at 1 minute. One great thing about lithium batteries is that their operating temperatures can be wider than on a lead acid. So specifically this battery, we can charge this from 32 degrees to 113 degrees and discharge it at -4 degrees to 130 degrees Fahrenheit. So middle of winter, this battery can be used to discharge. One thing about lithium batteries is they don't like to be charged in the cold. So these have a BMS system, battery management system, which will cut off charging at certain temperatures. And it certainly would cut off charging temperature at -4 degrees if you're using it. One thing is if you're using it, it might stay a little bit warm in this box, or if you have it located inside your travel trailer and you've got your heater on, it should not be a problem. So storing lithium batteries is great because they really don't have a huge self-discharge rate. This battery can be stored for up to 2 years and hold the charge. Temperature-wise, you can store these from -4 to 113 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a great storage temperature. One negative about lead acid batteries is if you have to take them off your travel trailer in the winter, bring them to the basement or your garage somewhere that doesn't freeze, because you don't want to freeze a lead acid battery because it will damage it. And then on a lead acid battery, you have to keep it on a trickle charger or charge it once every couple weeks in the winter just so you don't run it down, because if it does run below 50%, you will do permanent damage to your lead acid battery. And this battery, like I said, it will keep a charge for up to 2 years. The only issue when I say that is not when it's plugged into something with parasitic load. So if you've got it plugged into your travel trailer and you've got your clock and propane and smoke detector on, things like that, that's called the parasitic load, and it will discharge this battery, so it will not last just sitting in there without being charged for 2 years. Quite frankly, most travel trailers have a battery cutoff switch, so if you put it in storage for a couple weeks, hit that switch, turn everything off, because you don't want to run whatever battery you have, lead acid or lithium, down below their thresholds. One great thing you can do is on our travel trailer we have a solar kit, and so you can have your solar kit on, and if it's programmable for lithium batteries or lead acid, it'll trickle charge it or do a charge cycle based on what type of battery you have to keep your battery lasting as long as possible. So looking at both of these batteries, the lead acid and this lithium, for example, on our travel trailer, we've got 2 of these 90 amp hour batteries. So 2 of these batteries at 90 amp hours will give us 90 amp hours of use because we can only use 50%. So basically 90 times 2 is 180 times 50%, so divided by 2 is 90. Looking at these batteries, we can use 80%, so they're 70 amp hour batteries, so we've got 140 amp hours, but then we can use 80%, so that's 112 amp hours. But the really cool thing is these batteries only weigh 16.5 pounds, whereas this one weighs 36 pounds. So 2 of these at 36 pounds weighs about 72 pounds on our tongue of our travel trailer. 2 of these on the tongue of our travel trailer only weigh 33 pounds. So right there we could cut over 50% of battery weight on the tongue of our trailer, which helps us tow just a little bit better. And then for management of pulling these in and out in the spring and summer, it's a lot easier. Some of the good benefits of these batteries is they're truly a drop-in replacement. The size is just about the same as a lead acid, it's just a little bit taller. They're lightweight, they provide a consistent power versus the lead acid. There's virtually no maintenance. On the lead acid batteries, we have to check our levels. On this one we don't because it's a sealed lead acid, but on a lot of batteries you do. On my golf cart, I've got to pull the caps and check the water and add water, and then they boil over and it gets all over the floor. That really sucks. Not to mention the hazards involved with that is if I splash them in my eye or my daughter went on the ground and touched it, that's horrible. No one wants to mess with that, and it stains the floor. These guys will not leak any water. You don't have to add water. You don't have to maintain them. You just use them and have fun. So just a quick blurb, you might be asking, are lithium batteries safe? So these have a built-in BMS system. They'll stop the battery if there's overcharging, over discharging, outside temperature range is too hot, too cold. So they're really designed to keep the battery lasting as long as possible. So lastly, let's talk terminals. So we've got a washer, a lock washer, and then we've got these 2 wing nut terminals that just screw in here. So you can plug your trolling motor, your trailer, anything you need very easily, just like a normal standard battery. So there's nothing different from the way you hook up this lithium battery versus a lead acid battery. If anything, it might be a little nicer because these are a little bit different style, and I tend to like these versus having, obviously I don't use these caps that have the battery clamps, but we use these on our travel trailer, and they're just as great too. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, so that brings us to the end of our unboxing video for this Lion Energy Safari UT700. If you do want to check it out for yourself, you can go to lionenergy.com, and I do have a discount code. If you enter Savvy Campers when you purchase, if you're looking to buy one of these, you can save 15% off, so make sure you take advantage of that great deal they have. All right, thanks for watching. I hope that you stay tuned for our videos upcoming on actual usage of these batteries. We're going to put them to the test. We're going to put them on an inverter, throw a heater on, see how long they last. We're going to compare these to the big brother, the 1300, and we're also going to take one of these out in the travel trailer instead of 2 of our lead acid and see, could I just replace 2 of my lead acid with 1 battery? Anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you at the campground.